So let's just jump right in. So I'm going to just start keying this here. So we'll start on frame 1, and let's see. I think my whole shot is going to be about 84 frames from the quick planning I did. My planning is super rough today. Normally I would like to go over much more detailed planning, but like I said, I got 40 minutes of sleep last night, so we're going to do what we're going to do. I would not recommend this for, like, if you're actually wanting to do a proper animation and, like, do something for your demo reel. Take the time to plan. Don't just jump in and hope for the best. Since this is more of a test, I want to see how the rig works. If it doesn't turn out, it doesn't turn out. Whatever. But at least I'll have gotten an idea of what works, what doesn't, what I need to kind of think of for the next shot, which will most likely be a proper, like, full-length animation. So, let's see. I'm just going to scale that ground plane a little bit more. Now, I didn't have a chance to get the picker working on this, so we're going to be animating it the old-fashioned way with just the controls here. Excuse me. My old, dried self is fading away, turning to dust, apparently. That's what happens when you teach a class for... how long? 7.5 hours, and then jump into a stream. Your vocal cords just dry up and shrivel up. But we'll do it anyway. So for this pose here, this is going to be just a basic kind of hip to the side pose. And I just want to get a nice flow in the character. And no, I don't need to see this. Oh, no. Animbot, what are you doing? Animbot just kicked in for some reason. I had to reset my Maya preferences this morning, and Animbot is not playing well with the new settings for some reason. And 7.5 hours? What class is that? It's a review class, so doing a demo reel reviews and looking at people's shots. Now, to be fair, a lot of it by the end was just kind of chatting and talking about random topics, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It's always fun when I get to hang out with the students and actually have a conversation. It was just a lot of hanging out with people and having fun. Yeah, exactly. Geek out time. Like, showed a bunch of... Why is it doing that? Okay. Just showed a bunch of the collectibles around the room, and everyone was sharing stuff. It was a lot of fun. Talked about games, Animal Crossing. Okay. Let's see. Getting Disney Plus after this month of Boomerang. Nice. And hey, Sniper, if there's time, could you please speak a bit about camera and framing sort of stuff? In my bad chance, every time we have your great streams, I have a chemical exam. I can definitely talk about that. Now, that's a very big topic, so if there's anything specific you want me to talk about, definitely let me know. Because framing, composition, it is an industry all on its own. For example, I'm an animator. You have cinematographers whose job it is to just deal with camera stuff. That's not usually an animator's position. Now, it's good that we know a little bit about it, but it is a deep topic that is its own, what's the word I'm looking for? Its own career. So let's see. In terms of basic framing and camera stuff, the big thing is that you want to just, well, actually here. This is going to be way better than me trying to explain, like, just haphazardly. What's it called? Studio Binder, I think. Let me find a website for you. And this is going to be a really good website just to keep on hand. Okay. Studio. Camera. Okay. There we go. So this website here, and I'm going to give you the link to this, is a great website that shows you how to make a shot list, what cameras are, what kind of types you have. So right here, an extreme close-up, a close-up, medium shot, cowboy, medium full, so on. It has video examples, even more examples here. So an extreme wide shot is basically this nice big, so extreme long or extreme wide, just big wide shot with just a little bit of the characters. You have the long shot, you have the full shot so far. So a full shot, that's actually what I'm using here, essentially. And then like, as you go through this, it's full of great information. If you want to start learning cinematography, I recommend checking this site out. So camera framing, how all these different framings work. It goes over so much stuff. Yeah, they've also got great movie analysis. There's a lot of great stuff on this site. I have a 30-second shot, which is animated, but I want to give it more interest with good camera shots. Okay, so I would definitely recommend checking this out. The other thing that is going to help with camera work is to look up shows that you want to capture the similar feeling for. So for example, if you want to do a horror style film or short animation, look up some horror films. Look up how they frame the camera in certain moments, especially moments that you want to have a similar feeling in yours. Maybe you're doing a comedy. How do they frame up the shot? Look at how a film, like you watch a film and you go, oh man, that I want to do that kind of thing. I want to capture that feeling. Look at how they do it. And then try to not copy, but mimic and incorporate some of those elements. That's going to allow you to get a closer, like specific feeling versus just generic, like, oh, you can do a full shot. Okay, but what's that going to give me? So doing that, those master studies is going to be helpful on that. Let's see. I think I missed a question up here. Have you ever used smear frames? Yes, I definitely have. And I actually did a demo on stream. It should still be uploaded on how to do smear frames, multiples, lines, and all of those kinds of things in Maya. So how to create those. I don't use them often, I will say that, mostly because of the type of animation I tend to work on. As I animate, I tend to do more realistic style animation. It's just, for some reason, most of the projects that I end up working on have that aesthetic to it. So I don't get to use it as much as I'd like to. But it is still really fun. Whenever I get a chance, I do like to try and, try to use that. So what I'm thinking here, the reason I paused is right now the chest is an IK. And IK chest is okay for the most part, but it can be kind of a pain to pose out sometimes because of the stretch. You can see how much of the body stretches here. So it's easier to exaggerate, but it's also easier to lose the body proportions because of it. So what I'm trying to think here is, what spine do I want to use? Since I haven't animated this before, I'm not quite sure which one is going to be the most responsive, I guess you could say. So I could either pose this out, or I can switch this to FK. Now, I will admit, normally I animate with FK. I find it's just a little bit more realistic because it's essentially how our body moves in real life. So by animating FK, I can kind of push the dynamic of the body a little bit more. With that said, there's nothing wrong with either or. It's whatever you feel more comfortable with. Let's see. I'm thinking I'm gonna try FK first, just because it is what I'm more comfortable with. So we'll kind of go with that for now. We might change it as we go, though. I like the 2D feeling of this rig. Yes, I really do like the 2D feeling. Manju, I'd be happy to take a look at, or to give any advice if you have questions or anything like that. Feel free to ask away. And this goes for anyone. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask. And Blaze, how's it going? Let's see, how's work doing? Work's been pretty good. Busy, but not in a bad way. Just lots of projects that I want to work on and have to work on, which I enjoy. The main thing is just finding the time to do the things I want to do afterwards. And then have I been getting sleep? Well, technically I got 40 minutes of sleep last night, so yes? Question mark? See, I was making a war film. Your advice for the look of film really helped. Oh, nice. I'm glad. Was that the one with the elephant? If I remember correctly? Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to double check here. Yeah, so the head, notice how the head is moving with the body as well as the arms. This is something I'm personally not a fan of, so I'm just going to switch the head to follow the root control here. Same thing with the arms. Follow the root control. It's going to be a little trickier, but now as I pose out the arms, let's say I get a very specific angle I want. So this arm is going to be crossing in front of the body, like so. Now I need to adjust the body. See how the arm keeps that same angle? I'm not having to counter animate it. Let's see, please sleep. It's okay to take a break. Normally I try to sleep on Fridays. I just had to sub a class at the last minute, so it just didn't quite work out the way it normally would. But surprisingly, I'm not too tired. I say before I collapse. Famous last words. But yeah, it's not so bad right now. The thing I wouldn't say worried about, but I hope I'm going to be able to be like in top form for is Cameron and I will be helping out with the Agora stream later tonight. Doing the animation bingo with them, and I hope that we're going to be able to, or that I'm going to be able to be awake and conscious for the whole thing. I'm definitely going to try to take a nap before that happens, but we'll see. An animation bingo. So basically, bonjour Jérôme, ça va bien? The animation bingo is something that Agora streams do. I need to put the link down below. I keep forgetting. But if you just do a search for Agora animation, they do Twitch streams, and lately they've been doing reviews of the 24-hour animation challenge that they did not that long ago. And basically looking at everyone's work, and we do critiques on what the people did right, what could be improved, things to look for. It's just kind of a fun little like, hey, these shots were animated super quick, but let's give some feedback and kind of show things to watch out for the next time. And I really enjoy doing that. Cameron and I have done one of those before, and we had a lot of fun working with Brent on those. Let's see, do I want the eyes to follow the head? I think so. The eyes are very easy to control on this, which I like. But the animation bingo part is during that critique process, there's a bingo that happens, and essentially you can win a prize depending on what categories get chosen. So for example, if we're reviewing a shot and it's got great silhouettes, that's one of the categories you can check. And then we mention, oh, the spacing could be improved, and oh, yes, check your spacing. And whoever gets a bingo first gets a prize, which is really cool. I don't know why this one keeps wanting to pop up. I don't want the last key. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing a very quick first pass at the pose, just to get an understanding of the line of action and the overall kind of direction I want to push this pose. This is not meant to be like a final, like perfect finalized pose. This is really just, okay, let's get it started. And this way, if something goes wrong, or if I find out that, oh, you know what, this is just not working, I need to change something, I can just come back and quickly readjust it. So I am not trying to make this absolutely perfect. Okay, let's go a few frames forward. And Gato, hello! I'm learning animation on my own, so I'm having a lot of problems with time. Have any tips on that? So overall timing, there's a few tips that I would recommend. One is to study timing. So look up other films, look up shots that you really love, that you find have just an interesting sense of timing and rhythm, and figure out why. Time it out. What beats are they using? How long do they hold? How fast do they move when they move fast? All of that stuff. That's going to help you understand your timing. Also look at the spacing, because timing and spacing are very much linked together. So that's the first thing I typically recommend. That's a very good exercise right in there. The next thing I recommend is don't be afraid of, what would be the right word I'm looking for here? Don't be afraid of timing things out through sound, or record something. So for example, if I want to get a specific timing in a shot and the character is supposed to like run up and jump and then crash down on something, so run, jump, crash, I could just start going into my animation, but the timing could end up being kind of monotone, where it's just run, jump, land. Nothing interesting. It's just run, jump, land. That even just saying it doesn't sound interesting. So you can just try to act it out with like a toy. So he's run, jump, land. So you get your timing just through something like this, even just a hand motion. So run, and you try to make that interesting, make that dynamic. You can also do it through sound effects. So record yourself just doing the sound effects for the shot. How do you want that timing, that rhythm to happen? And once you record that, you can use that in your animation to retime your shot and kind of match that. So if you're noticing that as you're following along, you're just going run, jump, land. That's not interesting, but run, pause, jump, land. And you just do the sound effects, do the motions, all of that. That can really get you a better kind of start right off the bat. See, somehow getting my Maya to work with a cache or playback cache in my 2020 made me improve my timing. Being able to see real time in a matter of seconds. Yes, that is very powerful as well. Real time playback is very, very nice. I very much like it. I will admit I don't use it too often, mostly because of the shots I do. It just doesn't work with it too well, which kind of sucks. But I do enjoy it when it does work. One thing I know I'm going to switch here is this PV control. Let's set it to the root. I'm not a fan of PV controls that follow the feet normally. Mostly because I feel like I get weird motions with it. I'd much rather have a little bit more control in there. Okay. What are we doing today? Basically, we're just animating. That's it. There's no special topic. It's just me hoping to get an animation that works somewhat. I was hoping to get a proper like demo planned out and some animation kind of prepped, but unfortunately, because I didn't get to sleep, we're just going to be doing what we can. And essentially, the goal of this is not to get a full like animation. It's just to test out this rig more than anything. So even if it doesn't turn out great, I'm not too worried. Essentially, like I said, I want to feel this rig out, see how it works, make sure we get that nice kind of understanding of things. Okay, let's move that arm out slightly. Now this arm pose is terrible, so let's kind of make that a little bit more natural. One thing I'm noticing already, so this is one of the reasons why I like to do quick tests on my rigs, or like any rig that I'm using to animate, is it helps you notice problem areas. So one problem area I'm noticing here is that her arms are insanely long. Her hands, the tip of her fingers reaches all the way down to her knee. Normally fingers reach kind of to the middle of the leg there. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No. But it is something I'm going to have to watch out for. Because it's going to affect a lot of different elements in here. Okay. I definitely want the hip to be the thing that leads this action here. Let's push that hip. So I want that hip to be the thing that kind of feels like it's the furthest out. Let's kind of exaggerate that sideways motion. And then this foot is a little too far out. Far out, dude. I don't know why that popped into my head. I'm trying to even think where I would have heard that last. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Oop. Now, technically, this foot's also going to have a little slide. So you see how that foot just kind of feels locked off? It shouldn't really do that. It's going to have some sort of roll there. So I think this rig has a... Where was it? In here? Yeah. Heel swivel. So I'm just going to add just a little touch of that. See how now that foot doesn't feel locked in place? Just a little tiny nudge there, and it makes all the difference. Let's see. Let's see, I often give up on polishing. Any advices? Oh, polishing is one of the toughest sections of animation. It's really just keep going with it. Trying to get all the little details. Oftentimes I try to just break it up into separate passes. So I'll just do a polish pass on the hips. Try to get whatever I can in there. Do a polish pass on the spine. See if I can get that to feel a little better. Polish pass on the hands. Focus on one specific thing. If you're just trying to do a full polish pass, especially when you're first learning, and you're just trying to get everything to work all at the same time, that can just be very... It's just a lot. It really is. It's a ton of information that you have to try and put in to a shot. So, yeah, take it one thing at a time, and do quick practice things. Don't try to polish a full like 600 frame shot all the time. Instead, do a quick test, a 20 frame animation, and maybe it's just an animation of the hand. doing something, or maybe just an animation of the head, or just the animation of a character moving, and you don't worry about the face. Like, just don't worry about the head, just the body. And you try to polish that. This way you can just get through the blocking, get through the splining, all that, get through into the cool polishy stuff, and start to practice with that a little bit more. If you end up getting caught in that like really nitpicky polish cycle that is easy to fall into when you're learning to animate and you've got like 600 frames that you have to polish up, it just becomes very, very tricky. Let's see. You do step by step. How about the timing spacing after that? Usually I do step by step, or I pose to pose, and then I will just time it out afterwards. So I'm just kind of going every 4 frames right now, just to kind of get an idea. This gives me enough room to retime things. And then from there, I will just kind of retime what I need, if I need, which I will need. Like I will need to do some retiming there. But I'm not too worried right now. Right now, I'm mostly focused on the mechanics of the character, of the body, making sure that they stay balanced. Like right here, the character's starting to fall out of balance. So how can I adjust that? Let's see. Watch my silhouettes. So the knee can come in. So it's mostly right now focusing on posing and the core of the motion, if that makes sense, versus trying to get all the timing and all of the tiny little things throughout the shot. Okay, one thing I noticed, and I should have been working on a little bit earlier, which this is why we want to do a quick pass first, is I haven't done the rotate X on the body yet. So I'm gonna need to push that in a little bit more here. Let's see. Okay. So many questions. Could you please say the name of that camera movement which happens when we have a huge contact or falling object on land? Oh, camera shake, just like Manju mentioned. So you hit the ground and you have a camera shake that just kind of shakes the camera. That's it's a very nice thing. When you're using a camera shake, the biggest thing that I would recommend is don't let the camera shake. I don't want to say this. Excuse me. My throat is just closing up. Don't let the camera shake be the thing that adds weight to your shot. Your shot should feel heavy regardless of the camera, regardless of the shake. The shake is to add on top of it to give an extra feeling of weight, but it shouldn't be the thing that's giving all of the weight on its own, if that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, don't over polish. That's one of the worst things you can do. Is polish is there to help kind of add extra details, but it's very easy to start over polishing your shot to the point where you're just losing all of the cool stuff that you had into your shot. So just be very careful of that. Let's kind of push that. I'm so glad I'm getting so much Castlevania music today. The thing is, I've never even played Castlevania. I just love the music so much. Okay, let's get that hand repositioned. You'll notice I zeroed it out just so I can get a better line through there. The arm motions, honestly, right now are going to suck. A lot of this is going to be terrible. This is really just a quick pass to get an understanding of the mechanics and make sure that I'm getting a good range of motion. Am I using reference? I'm using some reference, just kind of quickly glancing at certain poses to make sure I get the gesture. And Bittersweet, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate that. I don't know why the music's still going, even though the Twitch alert was there. Double music. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's so sweet of you. Or Bittersweet. But thank you so much. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm looking at reference, but I'm not really using it as a huge guide. I'm trying to use it to hit certain poses. I am using kind of like I did a quick study of it, like maybe 5-10 minutes, and now it's mostly just trying to capture the feel of it. And don't want the head to rotate there. Okay, weird. Things seem to be slowing down here. Now I'm not sure if that's my computer or the rig. Weird. Okay, let's add another frame. And let's actually save this, because good to save your files. It might be AnimBot that was slowing things down. So we'll call this, we'll just call it dance for now. I'll find a better name for it later. If you want to make an animation to be faster, do you reshoot your reference or just tweak the graph editor? You can do both. Honestly, if you're... There we go. To make it faster, if you've already animated it, you're going to retime your keys, move it in the graph editor or the timeline, all of that good stuff. If you are... There you go. If you haven't animated yet and you just have your reference, you can reshoot your reference. You could even retime your reference. Reference is just there as a guide. It's supposed to give you an idea of things you can do, things you can try with your shot. It's not there to copy exactly. So we just want to kind of, regardless of how much we're using the reference or not, it should only be there to assist us. Okay. Let's see. Bring that foot down. So now the character is going to be stepping back. And one of my favorite features of this rig is this control right here to just rotate the ankle. Oh, I love it. So good. I have a weird issue. I don't know why. I'm written down some idea I like, but I'm scared of implementing it because I think I will ruin those ideas. That's not uncommon. It essentially is the fear of failure. We have these great ideas that we want to try. We want to try and push our animation and push our skills. But as we go to like pursue those ideas, there is that fear that we might just ruin it. We might have this great idea and we'll try it, and the end product won't be as good as we want it to be, or the end product is just going to not work correctly, or there's so many things, honestly, when that kind of stuff happens. And the big thing is, or at least for me, when those kind of thoughts come in, is keep in mind that if you don't try the idea at all, you never attempt it, well, isn't that very similar to the idea of failing in the first place if it never even got accomplished. So regardless of if you try it and fail, at least you tried it. So that's kind of my mentality on a lot of things is, sure, I might not succeed. I might fail completely and just crash and burn. But at least I burnt trying. So I don't know if that's helpful in any way, really. But it's essentially the way I kind of try to approach a lot of things. If we're always afraid of just failing, we're never going to try. It doesn't take away the fear. Oh no, does not. But we have to at least try. This foot is not in the right spot. I want it further over so she can shift her weight a little bit more. I also want to get this negative space in there. I felt like I wasn't getting that earlier. That's a little better. Now it'll allow me to shift the weight over a little bit more here as well. Okay. I want to animate like action. How do I start with it? Study anime action. So look up your favorite anime, maybe One Punch Man. If you want to do a Dragon Ball Z style, look at that. Whatever anime it is that you want to kind of create that feeling of and capture, study it. Do a master study of it. The best way to do it is to figure out how they do it. That's going to be honestly the biggest thing. It's doing those master studies, really understanding how they go about it. And this goes with any animation. If you want to do a Disney style animation, well, you'll have to study Disney. If you want to do a Ghibli style animation, you'll have to study their stuff. It's not just gonna come out of nowhere. Let's see, I want to learn 3D animation, so you can suggest from where I can start. If you want to just get started learning, I would recommend, if you're just curious and want to like try it out, I would recommend getting Blender. It's totally free. It's got some great rigs that come with. You can also find some rigs online, and just start simple. Don't worry about trying to get really complex animations where like you're animating a full character, all of this complex stuff. Those are fun, but just try to animate. Sorry, there's a little fly. Animate a bouncing ball. Animate a cube moving through the scene and just kind of zipping through, but make it really dynamic and interesting. That's what's going to really help sell your skills. As animators, even though we're animating these complex characters like this character here, as I'm animating it, essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to think of the basics. Just animating a simple object moving in an appealing way. I'm just trying to think of the hips. How do the hips move? Like right here. They kind of stop their forward momentum. So let's try to push that. And that comes from kind of the bouncing ball. There we go. Now we've got that momentum in there. So yeah, don't worry about really like, what would be the right word I'm looking for? about mastering a full character right away. Just focus on simple things. Get used to the program. Get used to the principles of animation. Read about the principles of animation, the 12 principles. That's going to be hugely helpful. Do posing tests. Do gesture drawings. You don't have to be a master draftsman. You don't even really need to know how to draw. But being able to do gesture drawings will be very helpful in allowing you to... What did I do here? Something changed. Okay, sorry, something changed on my other monitor there. And yeah, it's a long journey. You're not going to do it overnight, but as long as you're persistent, you're going to get there. So for example, when I started animation, I had never animated anything before, ever. My first career was as a baker. So when I started learning animation, it was a big change of trying to understand all of these new concepts and mechanics and all of this stuff. And it didn't happen overnight. It took about a year and a half before I was able to animate like professionally. So it takes a while, but as long as you're persistent and you keep applying yourself, you're gonna get there. Okay. I'm not worried about the head right now. Like I said, this is kind of a just quick throwing poses in there. See if I can get the feet working. Once I get all of this in, I'm going to be able to refine the motion. It's a never-ending learning career. You're never going to become a like master where, yep, I know my animation. I never have to do anything again. And oh no, Tom, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Aw. That's so nice of you. But yeah, you're never going to become like a master where you know every single animation thing ever, and you're never gonna have to learn anything never gonna have to learn anything ever again about animation. No. You're always gonna be learning about animation. Always, always, always. It never ends. It really doesn't. But that's the fun part, at least to me, is that there's always something new to do and something new to approach and learn. So yeah, I really enjoy that aspect of the career. Okay. I'm definitely going to be redoing a lot of the spine here. Right now the spine is kind of just in a very quick, rough state. I feel like her hands are definitely going to be an issue, mostly because of the size of them. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Whoop. We're starting to get a little bit of a walk in there. You'll notice there's a little jiggle. That's because I've got a key at the very end that's kind of popping right there. Okay. Now here, there is definitely, looking at the pose from the reference, there's something going on in the body. Okay. Is the rig you're using free for download? Yes, it is. I can get you the link right here. Yep. There you go. It's a free rig. Really good so far. Really enjoying it. Okay. Takes a step. The head is definitely going to be weird, especially considering the eyes aren't moving. It's going to make her feel very, for lack of a better word, doll-like, in that kind of uncanny valley sort of way, because the eyes just aren't moving and it's kind of flat. So this is going to be one of those things that once I get to the face pass, it's going to really help clean that up. But until then, we're going to be looking at a little bit of weirdness. Okay. Now this pose, we get a little bit of a weight shift. Let's put this at 40. Something like that. Let's add a little toe swivel. Is it possible to get the feeling of an anime with a 3D rig? Yeah, totally. The feeling of an anime is just the style of animation. It's animated on 4s typically, sometimes on 3s, sometimes on 2s, but usually like the typical anime is animated on 4s. That's what gives it that anime style. So if you kind of animate it in that kind of similar timing and really study how they exaggerate their poses and their animation, yeah, totally you can do that. There's even some anime out there that are all done in CG nowadays, and they feel like anime. It feels like very close to just a 2D animated cartoon. So yes, totally possible. So lots of anime are posed in 3D. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that they will pose the characters out in 3D first so that they can get the body mechanics in place. And then they will have the artist draw over it. That way they can get that intense perspective and spin around the character, or like camera movements, without having to do it all by hand, which is very nice. It's a nice way to use the new technology. It definitely saves the animator's time, and kind of just gives a little bit more, what would be the right word? Gives them more time to focus on other elements versus just composition and all of that stuff. Okay, so this pose is going to look a little weird, especially with her long gangly arms here. But a lot of that's going to come down to just pushing the line of action. I'm not too worried about that right now. What I'm worried about is trying to get the overall flow of the pose. Okay, so she comes through. Up. Oh, yeah, she's definitely moving a little too far that way. Yeah, that pose is the flattening out. Okay. Rotate her. I think part of it is that the spine is bending too much. Too much there. Okay. Comes through. And let's, oops, don't translate the spine. It comes through. Yeah, popping forward. That's a little better. So I'm looking at the motion of the hips, trying to make that read clearly. I'm not worried about the rest of the body right now, just the hips. And then from there, I can kind of push the rest of it. Okay, I think the spine is getting a little weird. Okay, something like that. Yeah, it's a little better already. And then let's get the arms kind of working a little bit better. Another thing, because she's got such big hands, what's going to really make this feel a little strange is that I haven't really posed the hands yet. Now, normally, when for anyone who's been in my streams before, you know I really try to push the pose your hands element. And this is something I'm going to be definitely doing in here. But at the moment, because it's still kind of in the testing phase, I don't want to spend time posing the hand and trying to understand, like, how should the hand be moving, what should the arcs be, all of that, when I don't even know what the arms are going to be doing fully. So I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. I will get to it, definitely, but it is not on the top of my priority list right now. Now, before I submit it to a director, I will definitely have to do a pose test on the hand, or not a pose test, a pose pass on the hands there. Okay, let's see. I feel you should make a demo on how to make sure you play blast and submit for reviews either as a movie file or sync sketch. Indeed plays at the right speed and the right frames, and how to keep the file size down as well. I started a new course on last Saturday, but one of the students was asking how I get my file size down. His 50 frame animation took up 160 megabytes. Essentially, you need to... yeah, I should do a demo on that. That would be good. Normally, if you don't have a proper converter in Maya, using something like Handbrake is very good for toning that down. Let's see. How long have you been streaming on Twitch? Seems like it's been at least a couple of years. Yeah, I think it's been 3 years now. We're on year 3. About to go in year 4 in November. I think so. I actually can't quite remember. But it's been a fun ride so far. It's what I really like about Twitch is it just gives me an excuse to kind of hang out and just talk about random topics. But I enjoy it. How do you make sure the play blast play at the right speed and not too slow or too fast? I've also noticed if I play blast directly to a movie and not frames, it sort of misses frames. Let's see. Interesting. So if you're play blasting from a movie in frames and you're getting a different playback speed, I'm assuming like they should play back at the exact same frame rate. There's nothing that should make it play differently. If it is playing differently, my guess is that the player that you're using is not playing at the right speed. So I would double check your video player, see if you can find a different one and see if the playback speed is a little different. If you're blasting a movie file, I recommend Keyframe MP. It's free and it's made for animation. So I would try that. See, I want the toe swivel. Push that a little bit there. Maybe push it up a little bit more. And then this foot is going to be coming up off the ground. Okay. Let's try to get an appealing pose here because so far this section right here is starting to lose a little bit of appeal. So essentially what I need to do is balance her back out. Get that line of action in there. So line of action in that leg. Let's get that all the way through the body as well. Get that hip up on that side. Let's see. I'm planning to join Animation Mentor to learn 3D animation. Nice. And do you know of any other place that would teach animation for a cheaper price and would help me getting into the industry? Well, any of the online schools will be great. So that's a weird song. All the online animation schools are really good. So Animation Mentor, that's where I teach. That's where I actually learned animation. I love it. But if you can't afford it, or if you would like something less expensive, there is iAnimate, there's Anim School. There's a lot of different online schools. Those are the two big ones. So you could check those out. See which one feels like a better pick for you. Let's see. Now, in terms of getting in the industry, like I said, any good school is going to give you a chance to get into the industry. That there's not going to be like, oh, you go to this school, that's the one that's the only one that gets you a job later on. No, it's your skill that gets you a job. So as long as you put the work in, put the effort in, that's what's going to do it. It's not the school, it's you. That you're going to be the thing that determines whether you get that job or not. Now, with that said, one thing about Animation Mentor compared to some of the other schools, and this is one of my favorite things about the school, is Animation Mentor has a really strong animation community, which is really good in the industry because it allows you to have connections that'll help you find jobs later on, who will help you kind of keep work if you're working freelance. There's a lot of very positive aspects about having a very strong community like that. Those hips should still keep going up here, and this is too far forward. And I'm not a fan of how the hips are moving right there. Okay. The hand pose is really killing me here. I think I'm gonna get half of the animation kind of working. If I feel like it's kind of in a good spot, I'll start to refine a little bit more. We'll see. Let's push this down just a tad here. So we feel a little difference in that leg. Okay. Let's look at it from the side, see how it feels. Not bad. Definitely some arc issues and some balance points that need to be tweaked. Especially this foot here, it's sliding forward. Just a little bit. Let's see. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question about the schools. Let's see. Can you give me a review of my work? I've recently on break from AM school. I would appreciate it if I could get a bit of help from practicing between two classes. Definitely. I'm gonna try to get as maybe halfway through the shot first, and then we can see about doing any feedback, or look at feedback. VLC or QuickTime. Yeah, Keyframe MP I would recommend. You can also join some communities like this one. Yeah, joining communities is a great way to just keep that learning going and kind of push forward a little bit more and not kind of fall into a rut, I guess you could say. And this foot's going to be on the ground now. How wide do I want this to be? Let's go pretty wide. See, the community is everything and makes AM worth the price. Totally agree. If you have the budget, the AM community is such a big part of. It's just such a big part of everything. It is amazing. I've never seen an animation community or just kind of animation group as good as the AM community. It's one of the big reasons why I've been in AM for 10 years now. As a student, as a mentor, I even work as staff there. And I love the school. I love the people who work there. I love the students. I love the friends I've made there. It's just such a wonderful group of people. Now, with that said, money is important. Like, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. So don't feel bad. Do what's best for your situation that you're in. Like, even though I work for AM, for Animation Mentor, even though like I went there and I highly recommend it, I'm not gonna go, you must go to AM. This is the only school that's gonna get you a job. You must do it. No. If you feel like I like Anim School a little bit more. I like Anim Squad or any of the other schools. Do what's best for you. It's your money, your life. See, I'm starting to stretch the legs a little too much, so I want to bring the character down a little. this foot slide there, I'm not a fan of. I'm gonna fix that. Are you going by some video ref for this? I've got some reference, but it's mostly kind of poses. So I'm mostly going off of that. So just trying to get the style in there a little bit. And the big thing is those hands are just killing it. But we're gonna get to that in just a second. I'll do a hand pass maybe after we get halfway. And kind of just try to push our posing, because right now the posing is so rough. Right, the balance is off here. The other thing, and this is where reference is very helpful, but also taking the time to understand your animation is going to be very useful. So I kind of just jumped straight into this, which is not great. Like, this is definitely not how I would approach a typical animation on a project. The big reason is I'm not sure how the spine works. I haven't had a chance to really look at the reference. Okay, what's the spine doing? How's it bending? How's it moving across? So as we're going to go through this, I'm going to have to guess what's going on. And you never really want to guess in animation. That is not good. It's better to have a clear understanding and know what you want and build from that versus just going, oh, we'll see. That usually doesn't end well. Okay. So let's get that in there. One more. Let's actually, I'm gonna fix this foot before it bothers me even more. Right there. And then let's push the foot roll angle there. That's a little better. And then here as well. Okay. And Greg, like I said, once we get halfway through, I can take a look at people's work a little bit. I do want to try and get this done before I get totally distracted. Because as soon as I start looking at work, we're probably going to be there for a good chunk of time. Let's bring this knee in just a little bit. Kind of push this line of action a little straighter there. Or I shouldn't say the line of action, the line of the leg. Okay. So this next pose is going to be pretty simple. I think it just, judging from what I can see from the reference pictures, it's essentially just kind of staying in place. This foot pushes forward a little bit more. That foot stays on the ground. I don't think it's going to move really. And then let's get the hip in there. So the hip comes over and slightly down. Right through there. Try to get a nice straight in that back leg. There's a slip right here. There we go. I'm definitely gonna have to move that foot. See how it locks right there? I do not like that. I'm not a fan of when feet just kind of lock out. Okay, yeah, that's better. So now you can see how that heel keeps moving throughout there. And Animalson, hello! Hope you're doing well. Sunny Friday in Montreal. Hey, nice! Hopefully you didn't get too much snow recently. I know there's been a bunch of places that just got a whole snow dump. Third winter arrived with a vengeance. See, this is no question. I just wanted to thank you because, thank you so much. Thanks to what you said about not being afraid of getting feedback, I was able to enjoy and learn a lot more of work, or at work. I'm glad. I'm so happy that you were able to get more out of it. And this goes for anyone because some people might have missed that talk. Being open to getting feedback and just hearing kind of new ideas about your shots and your work. It's scary. It really, really is. And I will say it never fully goes away. There's always going to be a little bit of that lingering fear and kind of just doubt. You don't, as humans, we put a lot, or just as like animators, as artists, we put a lot of work into our shots here. It takes a long time to get everything just the way we want it, and to put out the shot, and especially to specifically go out looking for people to go, hey, this isn't working, this needs to be better. It hurts. But that is what's really going to push your animation skills much further than if you just kind of let yourself animate in a bubble and never really push yourself through that fear. So I'm really glad that you were able to overcome that and enjoy the process more. Okay. There's a little pop in the head right there. Not a fan. That's a little better. So we're getting there. It's definitely needs a lot of work, but I'm essentially just trying to break down this motion. This arm needs to be much more forward. So what was happening was the arm was popping in a really bad way as it came forward. And I want to get that to flow just a little bit better. Lead with the elbow just a little bit more. Okay. That foot's gonna need a little bit of a slide in there. Hey, and other Montreal people in here. Hey, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, we've got quite a few. Quebec, Montreal City. Nice. That's so cool. I'm in Manitoba, so not quite Quebec, but the prairie. The prairie version. French Manitoba. I think the arm here feels, I think I could tighten it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not even doing anything with it. That'll not do much. I'm so looking forward to moving that hand. Killing me. Both hands. Just having them flat like that, it's so dull. Okay, oops, let's actually copy that over. Okay. Roll this up onto the toes. And can I go to the side with this? Yes, I can. Haha! I love foot rigs like this that really give you a lot of control over like the foot positions and the rolls of the feet. It's just so nice. Manitoba? I didn't know that. Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, just in the prairies of Manitoba, where there are no animation studios. I love Manitoba. It's a beautiful place, but as an animator, hoo boy, it's not the land of plenty, I will say that. But luckily with online stuff, there's always work to be found. Okay. So here I really want the leg here to catch the weight of the character. So I'm going to try to push that hip over and really try to get that hip to lead the action here. We kind of feel that hit of the hip there. Oh, definitely. So for anyone, always feel free to ask questions. Really, that's what these streams are here for. I know sometimes I'm very bad at kind of seeing the questions, so always feel free to ask them again if I do miss them. But the goal of these streams is to give people a place to ask, so feel free. Animation Mentor teaches feature animation like movies related. If my end goal is to get into games the industry, will I teach games related animation such as combat, takedown, and battle? There is a games workshop, but if you're totally new to animation, game animation, especially nowadays that the industry is like getting better and better, game animation is feature film animation. If you know how to animate, you know how to animate in games. The only real difference is that you're animating more physical stuff and cycles versus like acting shots and kind of these performance based shots. Now, there are certain differences, like how you would choose to anticipate motions and push certain motions like that. But overall, it really is pretty similar. So if you're looking to get into games specifically, don't worry about the like having to go into a game program. As long as you're learning animation, that's the important bit. And then as you progress and as you get better, you can then basically just take a game workshop, or there's a book, Game Anim, I think it is, They just released a version 2 of it. Just get that book and read it. That book is great. I actually haven't gotten through the whole thing. I still have to read it myself. I've gotten like a third through before I ran out of time and had to work on other projects. But that basically goes over, well, how do you animate in games, and what do you need to do, and what's different about games versus film and feature. So yeah, it's not like in the old days where there was this huge discrepancy between games and feature film, where like feature film that had the quality, the polish, and game animations, well, that you had to be more creative and like kind of the Wild West, I guess you could say, of animation. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Essentially just as long as you're learning animation. Let's see. Gotta go to the snake pit. Are you talking about Manitoba? Yes, if you ever get to Manitoba, go to the snake pit. There is the... Oh, now I'm gonna forget the name of it. Cameron and I used to go there all the time. Why can't I think of the name? It's basically just a pit of snakes where the snakes kind of migrate to every year, and they create these snake balls to keep warm. It's really cool. And Manitoba, there's no poisonous snakes, so they're nice and friendly. What? I can't remember the name. Let's see. See, I'm trying to think what other stops in Manitoba is there. To be fair, Manitoba, I love it. I was born and raised here. There isn't a terrible amount to do in Manitoba. I will admit. It's pretty quiet. What is... if you like hiking in like mountains and stuff, Falcon Lake and West Hawk Lake are really good places to visit. There's lots of great trails there. There's McGillivray Falls there as well. And that's just a nice little hike there. Okay, I'm definitely going to be pushing arcs through here. Have you ever considered moving out of Manitoba? Yes and no. Like, yes, we had planned on moving out, Cameron and I. But unfortunately, we've got a lot of family here that have health issues, and we help to take care of them. So at the moment, there's not really a way for us, or like, we could move, but we would basically be just leaving everyone, which I wouldn't feel right to do. So at least for the foreseeable future, we'll be here for a while, but we can do a lot of work online, which is good. And as long as we can help people along the way, like on the streams and stuff like that, I'm happy. I would love to work at Pixar, Disney, ILM. Cameron and I almost got into ILM once. It was so close. But unfortunately, with everything going on, we weren't able to accept or pursue it further. But one day we'll get there. It's not a race, it's a marathon. And this just goes in general for the animation industry. As long as you keep working at it, you will get into it. It's really just keep going. And you might not get into your dream studio and the thing that you like, oh, I always wanted to work at Disney. Okay, you might not be able to do that. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But I know so many animators who found new, better, and more fun dreams that they really enjoy, just by continuing to pursue what they love. And that's the big thing with animation is most of us, as we're doing animation, we do it not because of the money. Like, to be fair, animation isn't the most like lucrative job. It's not like you're going to be making millions being an animator. But it is a job that is filled with people who love it. And if you love it as well, it's really fun to be surrounded by all of these people who just share this really cool passion. See. I'm just catching up with the chat here. I want to go into gaming as well, and the AIM recruiter told me a lot of people go through the first 3 courses and then do the workshops and go on their own. I think of doing the 4th one as well for some acting chops, but I don't think I'll do the last 2 sessions. It may change, but since it needs to be a full-time session, there's a lot of money. Yeah, that's totally fine. Like, just that's a great way to approach it. If you're really interested in games, you don't necessarily need acting skills. They do help because it just kind of gives you more range that you can do. But as long as you've got good body mechanics, that's a really good start. And kind of the majority of what you'd be doing in game animation. Okay. We're getting there. It's still so bad, so rough. But the goal here is just to get the feeling through here first. And like I said, this is not a full, like, I'm gonna make this super polished. This is just to kind of get an idea of how to use the rig, kind of feel it out. And then maybe we'll polish it later. If not, who cares? Let's see. Catch up with the chat. I'm not here to network and find people or hire me. I just love what Boy's doing and like his ethics. So I hang out. Oh, thank you so much. And to be fair, like in terms of like networking, just for anyone who's new here, one of the biggest things that's going to help with networking and just kind of looking or like getting people who will hire you and all that good stuff is don't do it expecting a job. People will see through that. It becomes very evident very quickly when people are like being your friend or being friendly and looking for kind of a handout or something like that. Instead, do it because it's fun. Do it because it's fun to help people and to chat with people and to share stories with fellow animators who love the same things you love. I have so much fun just chatting with people about cartoons and like, oh, what's your favorite series that you're watching right now? All that just dorky nerd stuff. And you just become genuine friends with people. Do it because it's a fun thing to do. That'll shine through. And when you start interacting with people like that, what ends up happening is the people you interact with will want to work with you. It's going to be like, oh man, I really enjoy talking with this person. I would love to work with them too. I would love to just like work on a project and like hang out with them at work. That's what's going to really help kind of get you solid contacts that are going to last you a lifetime in the industry. She's starting to get way off balance here. But that's going to get you those really good contacts versus the like, oh yeah, we'll definitely hire you. Keep in touch, and then you never hear from them again. Have you watched Owl House? I love Owl House. I can't wait for the second season. Ida, this is not a spoiler, so if you haven't watched it, no worries. But Ida, the one of the main characters, I just love her design, the voice actress who plays her. I always loved her voice. She was the one that did the voice of Pacha's wife in Emperor's New Groove, for anyone who remembers that. The English version at least. And I just love her acting. It's so good. I'm really looking forward to the next season. Let me get this hand re-rotated back. There we go. Yeah. And then, is there a lot of crunch in the animation industry? Depends on the studio. Some studios refuse to have any crunch. I believe Blizzard. Blizzard won't even allow their employees to do any overtime, typically. Now, I could be wrong there, but from the people I've talked to, Blizzard is very good at basically going, hey, you're supposed to work 8 hours a day. You work 8 hours a day, no more. If you do, like, no, just go home, relax, be with your family. So some studios are very good at that, which is really cool. Other studios are not. And that's just the industry. Is sometimes you're going to get studios that are like just amazing at making sure their employees stay healthy and they don't abuse the time that the animators put in. And then you're going to get some studios that just like, well, you can work a few more hours. Come on, what's wrong? Don't you want to be a team player? No. That's the industry, and that's just like work in general. Like no matter where you work, you're gonna have those places that try to get you to do more work than you really should. The big thing, and this goes with pretty much any job, but especially in animation, any art field, you really want to avoid any ghost hours. Ghost hours are the hours you put in that you never write up. So like, oh, I'm just going to spend another 2 or 3 hours working on my shot. It's technically overtime, but I'm not going to charge anyone. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'll just get the shot done and make it quick. That really hurts everyone in the industry. Never do that. If you do that, not only are you going to hurt all the other animators that you're working with, they will not appreciate it, and it's just going to give you a bad name. Ghost hours are bad, bad, bad. There's nothing good about them. BHVR, for example, don't do crunch, and we're looking for animators. Nice, that's awesome. I love it when companies, like, to me, crunch in a studio, it's different per studio, but a lot of times crunch is essentially someone didn't quite do their job right. They were supposed to budget a certain amount of time for a movie to be done, and they overestimated how fast they could do it. That means someone made a mistake, or they did it purposefully so that they could get a contract over someone else, which, what's the point if you're just hurting your animators and and no one's getting paid correctly. It's the reason why studios go bankrupt. Like, not that long ago, you had so many big studios just going bankrupt. They kept underselling and underbidding each other till they weren't making money. So yeah, crunch, it's not inevitable, but it's still pretty common enough that it's still kind of a pain, but it's not going to be the absolute norm that always happens. Have you heard about Blender Guru's idea for an NFT to fund Blender? I haven't really read too much about NFTs. From what I have read, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I can't say for certain because, like I said, I haven't read enough to really get an opinion on them. From what I've read, I would hope that Blender is kind of looking at other solutions just for the environment stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things where I really don't have enough information to form a good opinion on it. Okay. Check out The Last of Us 2 and just be in awe with everything. I haven't played that game, but I have it and I'm so excited to play it. I still haven't finished the first one, which is just sad. No time to play games anymore. But from what I've seen and heard, the animation is supposed to be spectacular. Okay, so I just realized I haven't been looking at the shots from the side view here, and my weight shifts are going to be all messed up. So let me clean that up a little bit here. That's better. Always look at your shot from multiple views. This doesn't fix it, especially if you look at the head. It's got a lot of problems there, but we're getting there. Okay. One of the it is I have heard that it is a very gloomy game. Oh no, wrong frame. One thing that I'm excited to play it for, weirdly enough, is just the voice actresses. The fact that you've got Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey doing the voices. I just want to kind of see how they do the roles there. Okay. This arm is definitely not in the right position here. I will say one thing I like about blocking out animation, like at this point of the process, is when you start to kind of feel the rhythm coming through. Like it's so not working. It's all weird and like things are kind of janky right now. But at the same time, it's like I'm starting to feel something. It's coming through. If I just push it a little bit more, we'll start getting something interesting. A lot of that for me specifically is the foot pattern, how the foot moves. If you can get that working correctly, That makes a huge plus. If the feet don't move correctly, you just lose a lot of weight in the character. Let's see. Look for the play-at-home ad in there. Okay, I'll have to look for that. Laura Bailey. Yeah, Laura Bailey is awesome. For anyone who follows Critical Role, this is just so good. Their voice acting in there and their storytelling in that whole show is fantastic. All right. The spine right now is a nightmare mess. I will say this. So, for anyone who's expecting me to get really nice clean spine poses, no, not right now. I'm going to try and clean that up afterwards. Normally I would try to get that cleaned up right away, but because I'm still kind of in that experimental phase of sorts, like things are still kind of, we're figuring things out. I don't want to spend a lot of time getting the hips, or sorry, the spine just right and all of that stuff. I can get it right after. If I can get the hips working, the spine won't be too much harder afterwards. Oh, this song. Pilot Wings. This was one of those games that Cameron and I just adored. It was so much fun. I don't know how many people remember Pilot Wings 64. So good. Let's see. Life is no fun when everything is correct and there's no mistakes. Exactly. Life is so much more fun with the mistakes and the imperfections of it all. At least to me. I find it's just, things are much more fun when it's not everything works out exactly as planned. A lot of my best memories is when we were supposed to be doing something, Cameron and I, and it just didn't work out. Like, we were supposed to go visit a place and they were closed, so we went somewhere else and found this little hole in the wall restaurant and just kind of hung out there. I have so many memories like that, and it's so much more fun when you let life take you on these adventures. Not that all like unexpected things are fun, no, but if you look for the good in things, many times, not all the time, but many times, you can find some really fun stuff. Okay, this pose is gonna need a lot of work here. I'm gonna be really pushing the line of action on this one. Right now it's kind of stiff. I want that character to still be leaning forward quite a bit. So something like Adam Wilson, hey, thank you so much. Finally went through the process of taking my first subscription on Twitch. Oh, thank you so much. First sub. Oh, I really appreciate that. That's really nice of you. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do you generally animate from the feet upwards, ending with the head? Usually it depends on the shot, because this is a dancing shot and I really need to get the feet in position so that I know how far the character is moving. I want to make sure those get done first. Depending on the shot, if I'm not so worried about exact foot placement, I might work from the hips up and then do the feet afterwards. But I would say, like, a good portion of the time I do hips and feet first. Simply because it allows me to get the core of the character working. And Fleur, thank you so much as well. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Or Jeff's Oni. Oh, geez. Thank you so much for the gift. Aw, geez. And Schlur, thank you so much for welcome to the subs. That's awesome. I always wish I had something to offer to people who sub. I really appreciate it so much, and there's nothing like I don't feel like I can just offer something that would be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool? Like, here you go, take this like gift basket kind of thing. And I just saw that. Agathia, thanks so much for the bits as well. Aw. Oh, geez, thank you guys so much. If anyone ever has ideas of we get those amazing emotes, there's potentially new emotes on the way. New awesome emotes I'm super excited for. And A to the J. Oh, always with the bits, A to the J. A to the J is like the stream library. He's got every single link ready on hand. If anyone has a question, it's just like there. And always with the bits. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, that arm definitely needs to start coming up here. And Gabriel. Oh, jeez, everyone's. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subbing, Gabriel. I really appreciate that. One day I'm gonna record myself dancing Do the Mario. I just have to. I've always wanted to, and I just never get the time. Hopefully once the weather gets better, I can go outside and do it, because then I'll have the room to properly record it. Just get Cameron and I to do it. We just need to get a good pair of suspenders and a green and red shirt. At least that. And Sylvia, hey Sylvia, hello! 22 months. Oh my god, thank you so much. And also, hello, it's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope the cat's going well too, or doing well, I should say. It was so nice to see them the last time we chatted. I'm in cat withdrawal right now. Anytime I see a cat, it's just like, oh, please, I want one. They're so fuzzy and cute. It's terrible. I told myself, you know, after Chiffon, my last cat, no more. I can't take it. It's too hard to lose them. And now it's just like, oh, every time I see a cat online, it's just like, please, I want one. It doesn't feel like home without a cat for me. I've always had a cat. And I'm doing well. Busy, but not the bad kind. Just kind of working on a whole bunch of different projects and trying to get a bunch of stuff done. I'm watching you on my Apple TV and it doesn't have chat. Oh no! And a little Danny, hello! Hope you're doing well as well. I still find it weird that people are watching like on an Apple TV, or like I had someone who was like playing the stream on their big screen TV, like casting it. And it just feels weird. It's like, okay, the stream on a computer or on a phone, yeah, that's normal. I've been teaching classes online and all that for long enough that, yeah, that feels normal. But when I hear people are like watching this on a big screen TV, and like one person mentioned that they were watching it with their family, like just sitting down and watching the stream with their family, it's like, oh, I don't know what to do now. I feel self-conscious. Suddenly, it feels like it has to be more of a production. I need to be a little fancier, get some cool effects, all of that good stuff. Maybe get a better hairdo. Time to stream animation mentor class on a movie screen TV. That would be awesome. To go to movie theater and just watch like a Q&A like that. That would be weird. You've been seeing worldwide and multi-platform. Yeah, that's the other weird part. And I tend to forget a lot of the time. Like, it just kind of feels like, hey, I'm chatting with friends. At least, like, to me, that's what the streams feel like a lot of the time. Is just chatting with friends, hanging out kind of thing. And it's easy for me to forget that, you know, we're people all around the world. There's people in Europe, people in the United States, people in Canada, people in like Japan, China. Like, there's just people all around the world all hanging out together, which is really cool. At least to me, like, I just love that we can all gather around and just chat animation and enjoy it and have so much fun. See, it would be like dailies in a major studio. Yes, that would be cool. The Pratt Studio will have a cinema room for stream. There were plans. There wasn't going to be like a physical office, at least not for a while. Eventually we're going to get back to that plan once we have time. But there were plans on having a type of cinema room that everyone could get in together and kind of hang out for dailies specifically, but more so for just like get-togethers, having movie nights with like the staff and just like sitting down and enjoying like things together, having game competitions and whatnot. And Gatao, thanks so much for the sub as well. Aw. Oh, Goddess, thank you so much for the gift. I keep missing the gifts. I see the sub notification and I see that first, and then it takes a while for the other one to come up. Thank you so much for the gift. That's so cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh, you guys are super generous. But yeah, actually that reminds me, I was mentioning earlier, if anyone ever has ideas of what can be offered for people who are subbing, definitely let me know. It's something I've been trying to figure out for a while, but I can never think of something that would be really good, something that like that would be worth the like that sub and like just kind of give to you. That also doesn't limit anyone else, because one of the big things for me is I never want to have the stream set up in a way where, for example, animation reviews are only for subbers, only for people who sub, and only for people who give bits. No, at least to me, everyone should be able to have access to the feedback or to ask questions. You shouldn't have to like, oh, you have to give a certain amount of channel points to ask a question for me to answer. No, it should be, hey, you're here, you're hanging out. If you have a question, ask it. If you don't have the money to sub, or if you just don't want to, there's no pressure. Feel free to ask your questions regardless. So it's like, I don't want to put a paywall to anything, but at the same time, I would want to offer something substantial and like worthwhile to subs, not just like a, oh, hello, haha, thanks for subbing, like a little plaque or like a sticker kind of thing. I want something like something good for you guys, but I don't know what it could be. Eventually I'm going to get that last frame out of there that's causing this weirdness. See, one thing I believe everyone would love would be like having a place where we could watch all streams from the beginning, like a community. No need to edit the videos, just upload them really in like a community. I, for instance, would love to pay a subscription for it. Well, eventually, when I get some time, I want to hire an editor to get the streams uploaded to YouTube in an edited, easy to find style, as well as I'm not sure the best platform for it because Twitch is not the easiest to organize. So I was thinking like, well, I guess you could do it on YouTube as well. Basically upload all the videos in just like a unedited, here's just the whole video, watch from start to end. That's going to take a while because a lot of the videos are like 3 or 4 hours long. But that is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And just need to get to it. Okay. Okay, there's a little hop right here. What part of the videos would you cut out? Well, a lot of it is like if I'm doing a demo, I get so easily distracted. A lot of the times I'll start answering questions, and for anyone who's like wanting to learn that, like, oh, how do you do bend bows, or how do you use multiples and all of that, I would want it to be edited so that it's just the important information and not all of the like random talking. So this way people can just watch a video and it's not like 20 minutes of actual demo and then 30 minutes of random just stuff. Also cutting the videos up so that sometimes I'll do like multiple demos in one video. So cutting it up into individual segments for each kind of topic that happens. So we can easily just kind of go, okay, here's the one little topic, here's the other, here's the other. The other thing is that for the early videos, just because of the way I used to record them, I didn't realize back then that I could. The audio, the music channel, is not separate from the vocal channel, which basically means that uploading to YouTube, a lot of the songs that I would use back in the day, they are not DRM free, which means that the early videos is one of the reasons why I can't really upload them just like straight. The music has to be cut out or changed to avoid that DRM strike. So that's going to take a while, especially for the older ones. Okay, that hip's moving way too far back there. Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. I got caught on the hip and just like blanked out there. So yeah, it's the editing of the videos it's something I really want to get like a project going on it, but to do it properly, it's just going to take a lot of time, and I want to make sure I can hire someone to do that because it's such a big project. I don't want to just go, hey, you want to do this for free? Like, you'll get exposure. I hate that. I don't like just getting people to do work for nothing. A lot of people offer, and I want to pay people for it. People deserve to be paid for their time. So trying to get the funds in there and then trying to find the time to properly get that planning, because in order to get the videos to them, I have to get the whole, like, where do I upload them? How do I, like, send them to them, all of that stuff. It just takes a lot of time. Is this foot not on the ground? I knew it. It's like, that foot doesn't feel like it's on the ground. I must be seeing things. I must not be looking at it right. Oh, well. Like, no, it wasn't on the ground. I should have trusted myself. Okay. This is one of my favorite Castlevania songs. I don't know why. The guitar is just so well played. I guess I kind of answered my question there. I don't know why. It's because the guitar is so well played. I would answer it. Are you starting a YouTube channel? One day. I've been saying that for like the last 2 years. I've always wanted to do like just short videos that are like, instead of doing big long streams, like, oh, here's just a quick topic. There you go. That way people don't have to watch through a big stream for things. And it's also a place to re-upload old videos, VODs, organize them correctly. So things are easy to find compared to Twitch right now, where it's just trying to find things on Twitch. It's possible, but not easy. And I don't like the fact that if people want to find an old video, it's hunting it and like having to remember that it was actually done in the first place. It's just not a fun experience for people. I want to make that better. A barbecue. I like that. So if you're doing a tutorial, cut out all the questions. Yeah, just the random questions. Anything that's not like adding to the tutorial material. Tutorial. I don't know why I got caught up in that word. Okay, the head here needs to start coming back. Okay. No, I saw something earlier. I forgot to read it. Okay. Can't AM help you on that? Would be a great resource in general. It's the Pratt Bros stuff is separate from AM. So Pratt Bros is AM helps us out in the sense of they let us use their rigs, all of that stuff. They help promote some of the stuff we do. They promote us on their platform, which is really nice of them to do. But really, like, all the Pratt Bros stuff is just Cameron and I, like, it's our own time. It's just doing what we can for the community and for the animation community in general. And like, I'm sure AM would be happy to help, but it's something that, again, I wouldn't want to like take advantage of their generosity and just go, hey, you've got the resources, can you do this for us? I would want to either, like, if AM was to hire us or to help us, I would want to like commission them and like hire them to help us, like, as a separate entity in that sense. So yeah, it's that weird situation where I know a lot of people would want to help us, but at the same time, I really want to make sure people get paid well for their time doing anything like this, because I know it's going to be a lot of work. That's the big thing. It's not going to be a like, oh yeah, just take an hour here, an hour there. No, it's going to be it's going to be a project. So to make sure everyone gets well compensated for it is something I really want. Now, this needs to be higher. Okay, there's a little, I think there's going to be some squash and stretching here that I can really push, but we're not going to worry about it too much right now. And then okay, hips rotate in. Basically what I want is a little bit of like a swoop in the hips here. Just a little bit. It's too much. Okay. Oh, something. I rotated or moved something in the wrong axis there. Okay. That's a little better. Not great, but we'll refine things as we go. We are not worried about refining right now. I keep telling myself that as I need to actually remind myself, or else I'll start falling into those like polishy habits there. Okay. Are you animating on 5s? I'm animating on 4s right now. So just trying to get roughly the motion of the character in place. The spine is a nightmare mess. A lot of it is not really working right now, but that's kind of fine for now. As long as I can get the feeling right, then I'll be good. Once I get that feeling in there, we're gonna be solid. So many pops. The arms are so terrible. And I am animating a dance. Can it show us the animation? I've got, let's see, how many more frames do I have? I'll see about getting the rest of it in here, and then we'll see how it looks. So we've got 1, 2, 3, about 4 more, I think. 9. Yeah. So let's kind of push our way through and get this done here. So the next part is gonna be this foot coming up off the ground. Too far. About there. This foot sliding closer. And then the hips going up, forward slightly. And get that underneath character just a little bit. So now we're getting that kind of bump, jump. Okay. And let's push that. The spine is going to be the big area that is going to need a lot of refinement throughout this whole thing to really kind of get that physicality working through there. But the way it is working right now, it's just kind of a it's moving. We'll call it that. I need to push the clavicles. Essentially, the reason why I'm not really doing the clavicles right now is the hair keeps getting in the way. And I want to make sure that the base motion works, and then I can redo the arms. And then that way I can get the clavicles to work and match correctly. I could start like trying to fine tune the clavicles right now, and I should save. I haven't saved in a long time. I think the last time I saved I had 2 poses in there. Yeah, what was I saying? The clavicles. I could start trying to get them working in there, but it's just gonna be pointless right now. So I would much rather just kind of get the core motion in there. Once I know it's working, refine and polish. Or I should say refine, not polish yet. Same thing with the hands. Like I should be posing them out, but I'm not worried too much about that yet. Okay. I'm looking at the forward translation of the hips here, forward and back, or I should say left to right. And there's definitely something going on there that I'm not a fan of. Yeah, that's better. Let's see. I need the rig, but don't want to waste time doing a course when I'll have only 1 day a week to do it. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there. 1 day a week to do a course, regardless of the course, it's just not enough. When you're paying money for a course, you want to make sure you get the most out of it. But the AM rigs are pretty good. I really love the Jules and Aya rigs. And do you just animate or rigging too? I mostly just do animation. I've done sculpting, so I do some sculpting in my free time, not professionally, more just as a hobby, but no rigging. I used to do some rigging a long time ago, but I haven't really kept up with it, and at this point my skills are so rusty. Like I know how to do basic rigging for props, for for just like nice simple things that I need for a shot in animation, but to do a full like character rig, no. There's been so many changes and new like processes. I haven't done it in a long time. I would love to get back into it though, because I do love that feeling you get when you rig a character and then it's like, hey, this what was just a still piece of geometry is suddenly moving and alive and can be animated, and it's really cool. It's kind of like this where you start off with the rig and sure it's appealing and all that stuff, but as much as you can have a super appealing rig, if it's not moving and if it's just in a T pose, it doesn't really feel alive per se. It's there. But the moment that you start getting that core of the motion in place, there's just something about seeing that character start to like live and breathe that I just really love. It's one of my favorite things about animation is when you start getting that feeling in there. Hey buddy, how's it going? The dance is coming along. We're almost done. I think like 2 more. 73, 77, 81. Yeah, actually, so 3 more poses after this, and we're gonna be done the rough blocking. Just kind of making sure this works, and then from there we'll be able to go into the kind of refining, cleaning up, exaggerating, pushing the line of action, pushing the appeal of the poses, all of that good stuff. That's where it's really going to come to life, and it's going to stop being this just like, yeah, it's moving technically, and it's going to feel like a character. And I'm really excited for that. I love that feeling when the character starts to just get that nice appeal to them. Like it's kind of there. The motion is feeling okay. It's nothing fantastic. But once we start pushing the face, especially, the character has such big eyes and big hands. Once we get a good pass on the face and the hands, it's going to be night and day. Really going to push this a lot. Okay. Get that nice weight shift in there. I want that weight to really feel like it's like into that hip there. Let's get the spine redone here. Essentially, I want that arm to reach up into the sky. Reach for the sky. So get that nice contrapposto. Let's get the head to not be quite so exaggeratedly pushed there. Okay. Oof. I just realized the arm twist on there is I'm gonna be getting some serious gimbal and Euler twists in there. If you look at the values here, look at the values I'm getting. -25, 18, -57. because I was animating this before and I wasn't paying attention to the rotations, I was just kind of moving it around randomly. Look at the last pose. The arm is almost exactly in the same position, but look at those values. Minus 182, 212, 141. There's a flip in there going on. The values are starting to over crank and spin. So that's going to be something that I'm going to have to clean up at some point. That's going to be a problem for Future Bow, because he's such a nice guy. Future Bow always fixes all my mistakes. Like, I don't want to animate the hands yet. Future Bow will do it. He's just so generous. Past Bow sucks. Past Bow always throws more work my way. But, ugh, really? You couldn't do it yourself? No. Ugh. Always trying to get me to do his work. Okay, the spine here is definitely going to have to start twisting as well. Oops. Make sure I select the right controls. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean those arcs up from this view. The hips especially. Okay. I'm just trying to get that reach of the body to feel okay. Okay. Future Bow is a really nice guy. I mean, just ask him to do anything, he'll do it. Need to do my taxes? Future Bow will do it. Need to cook lunch? Future Bow will take care of it. He'll feed me. Oh, Future Bow is just so kind. Always giving. I know I can trust him. What's going on here? Oh, I know what's going on. The head. That's better. The head was causing it to feel like the whole body was twisting in a weird way. There we go. Feel current bow has very much in common with future bow. Aw, thank you. But we can all agree that past bow, oh, terrible. Always putting work onto other people, specifically current bow. See, so I'm just trying to get the arm to, oh no, that's going to be too much of a pop there. So I want the elbow to start coming in, but the rest of the arm can start to bend. So we start getting that a little bit of a curve in there. Okay. Getting nitpicky there. Okay. 2 more keys. And then we'll look at the horror we have constructed. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to keep the hips kind of rotating and swinging through. Just kind of keep that momentum going. See, I'm gonna redo this foot position. The reason being, I want the foot to be on the toes here and kind of hover, and this is going to be a much easier way to animate it. So let's copy that over, and actually make sure I get both foot positions. Copy, copy. And then I can just take this and zip. So now we get that nice roll of the foot. Okay. That arm stays put. I think pretty much now we're going to moving hold territory, so it's just going to be whoop. And then one last key here. And essentially what's going to happen here is just a little bit more of a moving hold. Just a little bit. And then let's get that arm down a little. Feel current bow is very much. Oh wait, they were the same person. Yeah, they're like twins. Exactly. Future bow and current bow. They're too similar. Let's see. So I'm not worried too much about like making this moving hold like really sell properly. Mostly because that's going to come into the graph editor and a lot of it's going to depend on the pose. So even if it just kind of freezes a little bit, I'm fine with it. The main thing is as long as the core motion reads correctly. Okay. So, and Noelia, hello! What's the animation looking like now? We're just done the super rough, just like first pass blocking to see if the body mechanics are working. From there, we're going to refine. I don't know if we'll do it today, probably tomorrow. Do a refine pass and really push the posing, push the appeal, push the line of action, all of that stuff. As long as the main motion is reading, that's the important thing. Okay, I'm going to try something here. I haven't tried this with this rig. I'm going to turn on enable stepped preview. And it looks like it worked. Okay. So let's just do a cached playback here. We'll see how fast this rig works with cached playback. And it looks like a dance. Yay! That's what it's supposed to look like. If it looked like something else, I'd be sad. So let's take a look here. So, not bad. The main motions are reading pretty well. It feels a little slow. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure what my playback speed is. Let's see. Frame rate. Yeah, I'm getting close to 24. It dips quite a bit once in a while, but it's close to real time. So I would definitely want to speed things up a little bit, especially in certain areas. But the overall motion is pretty good. There's a little bit of a pop right here as she changes direction. Right there. So that's definitely going to be something to clean up. I feel like a section that doesn't work is there's supposed to be like this double jump. So she's going to jump here to get both feet to slide under her, and then jump again to kind of go forward right through here and settle. And right now, neither of them are really selling. Are you just copying the poses from the reference? I've just got images, and I'm trying to match certain images. So it's not like fully just tracing one-to-one. But like the images I do have, I'm following very closely. The next phase, I'm going to try and exaggerate that. So at this point, the reference kind of goes out the window, really, for me. And I'm going to be mostly just, we know what the motion, the general feeling we want. Now I'm going to just try to make it feel good. Make the lines feel good. Make the posing really dynamic. Try to push the hands. Try to push all the different elements in here to really make this dynamic and not just a copy of certain poses, and just kind of make it something interesting out of it. Now, in terms of the animation, I've animated this on 4s right now. I think I might keep it that way. I don't know, this is going to be, I'll have to think about this. But typically anime is animated on 4s. And if I want to kind of keep that anime vibe to it, that anime feeling, all I really need to do is polish up the poses I have here, and I'm pretty much done. I don't need to go into splines or anything like that. Now, just for fun, let's actually go into splines and see what we get. I'm expecting some arm twists like crazy. Yep, there is that arm twist. See how that arm just spun? So, splines definitely looking really miserable. But we don't have nearly enough keys in a lot of the places to describe this properly. So basically what this is to be expected, especially considering we're just in the very rough blocking pass and not a proper, like, refined blocking either. So yeah, I think this is going to be something we'll tackle tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. I could start kind of refining it, but at this point we've been animating this for almost 3 hours. Well, between the time we've talked and everything, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ish. So we've gotten about 80 frames pretty much blocked in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Not bad. And that is considering we're also describing the process as well. So I want to take a break from it, rest my eyes. This is something I always recommend for anyone to do when they're animating. After you do a big chunk of animation, take a break, do something else. Get up, ideally, walk around, or just go do something else, get away from the computer, so that when you come back, you're seeing it with fresher eyes. At this point, there's probably mistakes in here that I'm not even seeing anymore. Ideally, what I would also do is get Cameron to take a look at this and just kind of go, okay, what stands out? Like, what stands out as not appealing, as just boring? And now I can fix that very early on. Now, in terms of, just for anyone who's curious, in terms of showing this to a director or your supervisor, I might show this to a supervisor. So just kind of going, hey, can you buy off on this? And just like, are we good to keep moving with this? And they'll go, yep, keep going. Or they might have some big changes. to show the director or like in dailies at a studio, I would not show this pass. I would make sure to do a little bit more, especially in the face and the hands, because they distract so much. Especially she's got these big eyes, these big hands. Our eyes automatically want to focus on those points, and since they're boring and not alive, it just kills the entire feeling. So I would need to do a pass on those before I even considered bringing this to like a higher up, like a director. So yeah, it's just kind of getting that in there. Let's see, I'm always blown away by your speed while you're able to talk through it and follow the chat. Many years of teaching classes. Although I do wish I was able to just like focus 100% and really go like full speed, just to kind of show the full process, because I always feel like when I'm doing these demos, especially for people who are new to animation, it kind of makes it feel like it's really slow and like a tedious process, when it can be a lot more dynamic sometimes. But hopefully it also encourages people who are new to see that animation isn't always speedy. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to do it, but hey, you'll do it in the end. So yeah, I think, let me save this again because I forget when I saved it. Yeah, and we'll kind of call this animation here for now, for today. We'll come back. Let's see, if you wanted to speed this animation up, would you just scale the keys? I would translate the keys more likely. I would find the moments that I want to hold a little bit more, make them hold, make the motions I want to be a little faster. So I wouldn't just globally scale it. I would pick and choose my time. And for something like this, I might even use the retime tool in the graph editor. But we'll probably be doing that tomorrow, retiming it all. Mostly the reason I don't want to retime it now is a lot of these poses are not quite working, and I think I'd rather get the poses a little bit more tied in before I did any big retiming. It really, it's personal preference really, but let's see, is that so the key's still on a frame? Partially, although that's easy to do in Maya 2020 as long as you have auto snap keys turned on right here. When you scale keys, they should snap, and you can always just snap it right here. So it's not that big of a deal to scale it. For me personally, I prefer to move sections versus just scaling the whole thing. And sometimes I might scale a section, but if I'm gonna scale it, I prefer to use the edit or the retime tool in the graph editor, and I'll show why tomorrow. It'll be easier to kind of showcase how that's a little bit more powerful than just regular scaling.